Hello, everyone. This is your girl here, Jaden. How are we today? It's a Sunday. Um, this is another interesting episode. Actually, I'm hoping it's going to be an interesting episode on Jaden's TV. If you're new to my channel, please, I would normally say subscribe because that's the normal thing, but I think it's becoming cliche now, and I think people should subscribe when they have that conviction that this is what they want to do. So I would appreciate if you can watch my videos, watch my TV. Um, if you like it, subscribe. If you don't like it, by all means, don't. You can leave your comment. You can tell us how you want us to do things if you feel like it. So once again, my name is Jaden, and this is my TV channel on YouTube. This is where I plan to spend some time, have conversations around things that are really interesting to me, and by extension, I'm hoping it's going to be of interest to other people out there. The other day we had a conversation. I made a video about mental health, and like I said in that film, mental health is something I really hold dearly. It is a shame, like I said, that up until now, in places like Africa and in Nigeria, people still do not understand the relevance of talking about mental health. People do not understand how important mental health is. In fact, we're a whole, complete being. You cannot separate the head, for example, from the hands, or the neck from the legs. What this means is when you're physically unwell as a result of illness or accident or anything, the tendency is that it's going to impact on your whole being. In the same way, if you have mental health problem, it's also going to impact on your whole body. We tend to undermine or look down on mental health side of our lives, but the truth is there have been rather huge evidence out there to suggest that when we have problems with our mental health, it can impact on our physical health. And when we have issues with our physical health, it can also impact on our mental health. Take, for example, someone who goes to the doctor and is being told that he or she has diabetes, and God forbid the diabetes advances to the point that this person loses one of his or her legs. Automatically, this is a huge trigger to mental health problem. You can imagine someone who had walked around all their lives. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to adjust. It appears, yeah, that looks so much better. So you can imagine someone who had walked around all their lives, done things on their own independently, never had to rely on anyone to mobilize, go about their daily livings. Suddenly they are no longer able to do all these things. Suddenly they find themselves isolated from others. What do you think will happen to that person? They will begin to go down the route of depression. They would begin to have anxiety, worry problems with their image. Oh, how am I going to be perceived generally by the society? Or what about my friends? Are they going to stick to me, with me? Are they going to abandon me because now I have become disabled? So it's just crystal clear that for us to live a holistic life of abundance in health, we need to prioritize our physical health as well as our mental health. Um, there are so many aspects of mental health. First of all, mental health or mental ill health. It can either be ill health or illness or mental, depending on usage and where you are. Someone is said to have a mental health problem when there is this evidence of a mental disorder. And there are ranges, there's a huge plethora of mental health problems: psychosis, depression. There are so many of them, anxiety disorders, there's autistic spectrum, there's learning disabilities, which autism is part of. We also have things that we've dealt with in the past. We have traumas. We've had issues that for some reason we haven't talked about them. It could be post-traumatic disorders, experiences we had in the past growing up. Sometimes when these things happen, people don't talk about them. People just put a cover, and when you put a cover on a problem, what you do, unfortunately, is you occlude the problem, which means you just encourage it to grow, and then it begins to unfold at some point in our lives. Some of us will find ourselves struggling with forming attachment. We will find ourselves struggling with socializing properly and having that understanding of social ethics and acceptable behavior, recognizing boundaries, being able to form friendships, being able to even self-care. It can be that bad. So I guess the whole idea around my interest in particular in this issue is that people understand, especially people in Africa, especially people in Nigeria, where I come from. We need to recognize, we need to understand. I want us to have that conversation going. I want us to start that conversation. I want people to understand that there are so many things we do that impact on our mental stability, our mental health. There are lifestyles, there are genetic factors. For example, we have some people who are born deformed. In Nigeria, we call them, I can't remember now, but it is still part of the learning disability, the autistic spectrum or the Down syndrome, So these are classified under the organic mental health disorder. They are not as a result of what we have done. Some people are born that way, if you see where I'm coming from. So there's an organic damage in the brain. There's organic chemical imbalance in the brain. That is also huge. But then we have also the things that what we do or what we haven't done, our acts and our omissions, can contribute to having mental health problem. For example, our lifestyles. There are people who have mental health issues as a result of drugs and alcohol. These are usually induced or triggered by the lifestyle, the substances we have used or people use. We also have stress. Stress on its own is a huge risk factor of mental health breakdown. It's unfortunate, but we live in a world now where people just get up and go. People are so focused on work. People are so focused on making money. Don't get me wrong, rather, by all means work, by all means make money. These are things that also help us to live normal lives. But I think it's important that we have a balance. We are not just created to get up and go to work and come back and lay back on the bed and get up the next day and go to work. And then when the salary is paid, unfortunately, it's never enough. So we go to work. Some of us do work in places that are toxic. We work jobs that we do not particularly appreciate, but hey, what can people do? So we say we have to go to work. So we don't have time to rest. We don't have time for families. We don't have time for ourselves. Even when the body is saying, you know what, I am getting exhausted, we don't tend to listen. Some of us get up in the morning, we pop pills, we take painkillers, we go to work, we're on break, we're taking paracetamol. It adds up eventually, and the body begins to malfunction, if you like, and most of the times the end product would be a breakdown in our system. It's as simple as that. So stress is huge, and we have lots and lots of cases of stress-induced mental health problems. And then we have other factors around attachment, relationship breakdown. When people are married, when people have been in relationships for years and something happens, separation, it could be as a result of death, it could be as a result of divorce. These life changing changes, they are life changing developments in our lives. It becomes another trigger. People are gifted differently. Some people take it well, some other people struggle, but they still manage to put up appearances, which is also not a very good thing to do. Like I said earlier, when you put a lid on a problem, you can only encourage it to hibernate for the time being. But that problem, if it is not addressed, stays there. So there's also depression that can be as a result of childbirth, postnatal depression. Some women, when they have their babies, they don't have the support they need. Sometimes they don't have understanding of how to manage things. Usually in first time experiences for women. Some other times, especially in countries where we don't have support and families. So it becomes a huge challenge for new women, new mothers, I beg your pardon, and new families to make that transition. It comes with lots of uncertainties. It comes with this worry about money, this worry about, oh, how do I do this? The changes, the body changes. Suddenly you see yourself growing a baby inside of you, and then eventually you're responsible for someone. So sometimes, although these changes look, oh, beautiful, oh, she's becoming a mom, oh, he's becoming a dad for the first time, but the psychological impact it has on people also vary. So you see women who have had their babies, instead of being excited, oh, I have a new baby, you see them going the other side of depression. It's not because they want to, but it's just happening so fast. The changes are too much. They are struggling to comprehend and keep up with that. So there are so many, like I said, there are so many areas of mental health issues that we can talk about. And if you would appreciate, we go over these aspects of mental health problems and classifications and kinds. I will be more than happy to. We can talk about each and every one of them. We unpack what depression means. We unpack the triggers. We look at what we can do to help ourselves. We can adopt that pattern, but at the end of the day, overall, it would be my pleasure, to be very honest, to get to talk about some of these things with you and see how, especially in Africa, I want people to understand that mental health problem should be seen as having malaria. It should be seen as having diabetes. It should be seen as having a chest pain, people should be open to that conversation. People should talk about it. People should not fear stigmatization. We shouldn't associate mental health problems to anything else other than what it is. You know, we should have that, seek that understanding, be open-minded, because when we are open-minded, we learn. When we are open-minded, we have conversations and we understand, you know, what to do and how to support our families or friends when they go through these difficult times in life. So guys, I hope it has been a good one. I wanted this to be a brief intro, but hopefully as we go on, my plan is to be filming at least once a week. And then when you respond to the videos, if you have requests, so I'll be more than happy to talk about them. We look at popular demands, and then I can make videos or discuss the issues you have raised in order of their importance. So once again, it has been a pleasure speaking to you about this. And as we go on also, I will share personal experiences of what I've seen, the things I've come across, the friends and colleagues who have had to experience in similar or diverse ways what we talk about concerning mental health. And the whole idea is for us to be empowered, for us to gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and have insight, and also to be able to understand our own lives and our own selves, and be able to support one another rather than stigmatize and move away from people when they go through all this. Anyway, it has been nice speaking to you, and I look forward to seeing you in another episode of Jaden's Television. Take care and stay blessed. Bye now.